Hey everyone, it's Imran from Squadron. I haven't been live for quite a while. I mean, when I say quite a while, it must be like nearly 6 weeks, probably 5 weeks to be exact. And the reason I've not been live is mainly because I've been a little bit busy with doing the Elementor website course. As you know, started releasing videos for that early, midish, November-ish time. I mean, all of those videos were out a couple of weeks ago, and there's over like 115, 116 videos. So I was working on my normal web squadron agency stuff, doing normal videos, and then doing the course videos as well. And it was really, really hectic. When I say hectic, it was super duper hectic. And now I've started doing phase two, which is the WooCommerce. But because that's a little bit less intensive, some of you would disagree. Some of you are going to say WooCommerce e-commerce websites are more intensive. But because I'm just doing WooCommerce, let me clarify. Phase one of the Elementor website course was me doing 3 websites: a blog website, a dentist website, and an accountant website. And trying to do all 3 of them with a very different mindset for each website, because there's a different strategy you have to apply when you do a blogging versus local business versus a local business professional website. You got to think very differently about what is the point of the website, what is the funnel all about, what are you trying to showcase, and what are you trying to put across. So the WooCommerce website is mainly around WooCommerce. A lot of the bulk of so far the videos I've done, so far I've recorded 19 videos. They're all about WooCommerce settings. Hey Jurgen, hey Ayush MJ, how you doing? And I just started doing the header template today, and I'll start the hero banner tomorrow. And then I'll build a loop grid, because when it comes to e-commerce, you need to spend a lot of time initially on the WooCommerce settings, setting up your store, payment gateway, making sure it works. So set up a $1 product and make sure that if I buy it, does the money actually go where it needs to go? Do I get an email? Do they get an email? Is all of the communication, everything working? Because if you don't get that to work, then basically, what's the point of building out the header template? What's the point of doing the hero banner? What's the point in building 20 more pages? Get it working, then build out your website. Hey, Chilster Berlin, how you doing? Just had to skip the Wix. Was there a Wix advert? I don't know what adverts pop up. If anyone is wondering, by the way, I damaged my wrist, the tendon here. So I'm struggling to rotate. It really excruciatingly hurts when I rotate my wrist. I've damaged a tendon right over there. So today isn't so bad. Yesterday, I was struggling massively to move, like I could move my fingers, but the wrist, the tendon right over there, near the little finger, not the thumb, just over there, that tendon. You know when you can feel like where your bone is, right there. You know when you touch your wrist, if you can feel that bone took a this is gonna sound really, really, you're gonna laugh at this, okay? You're gonna laugh. So I was changing some of the wires below my desk 2 days ago, and I was leaning on my stepper. So I was leaning on my stepper like this, and I was changing some wires. And I don't know how, well, I kind of know how. My hand slipped off the stepper, because obviously the stepper is sloped. So my hand slipped, and when my hand slipped, I went down on this side, and that hit my, down here is my weights machine, and it hit the really solid hard aluminium edge, like bang. I mean, when I say bang, I mean I went whack, and it's right, that bit there hit the hard line. Boy, did it hurt. And I thought it was broken. I literally thought it was broken at one point, or I fractured it, or a hairline, and I was like, oh crap. But it's been difficult. I still managed to record some videos today, but it has been difficult because I'm right-handed. So I spent a lot of time yesterday typing with my left hand because my right hand was really aching to rotate or like, stretch or move. Not so bad today. And I have got a better movement, but it's a couple of more days, I think, of just painkillers and stuff. But anyway, that's that. So I'm working on phase 2 of the Elementor website course. I'm just going to double check some of the questions that are coming. I just need to rearrange my screen. Just my mouse. Where's my mouse? Where's my mouse? I can't see my mouse. This is... Oh, no. This is worst case scenario now. I cannot see my mouse. Oh, no, hold on. Has my mouse gone off? That's probably why. Why has it gone off? What? Has my mouse lost its connection? Oh, you're kidding me. My mouse has lost its connection. Fuck's sake. Oh, fucking hell. Right, I've forgotten how I open this stupid mouse now. How do I open this mouse? I've forgotten how I do it. How do I open this mouse? I can't believe I forgot. Oh, no, this is it. There you go. Right, let me just change the battery. Just give me a moment. Like, for fuck's sake, right? You go live and your mouse. I use the Logi mouse. I just use the Logi mouse. Logi. Battery. Fucking. Can't even get to the fucking battery. This live chat is not going well right now, alright? This is the reality of going live, okay, with dodgy people. Because you're all dodgy, okay? But this is what happens. You go live, and then your mouse stops working. Now I can't even get it back in. What is up with me today? Nothing is going well for me today, everyone. Right. Mouse in. Connect. Connect. There we go. Mouse is on. Thank you. Mouse is on. Bloody hell. That is the worst case scenario, people, right? Okay. But do you know something, right? Yeah, battery's fine. Battery's fine now. I know what you're saying, Jurgen, prehistoric times. I really like these mouses. The Logi mouse is... I prefer this to the Apple Magic Mouse mice. I really do. It's... I don't know why. I just prefer it, especially the wheel bit. I prefer... I used to have the Apple Magic Mouse, and I prefer to have a physical wheel. I don't like the sliding up and down. I want a physical wheel, especially with the fact that you can press and all of that shit. Okay, right, let me just check the questions, okay, because there were a few coming in. Old Fat Trucker still has PTSD from hearing the word WooCommerce. Yeah, I mean, I thought about Fluent Cart. I thought about SureCart. But because the bulk of the market still uses WooCommerce, which is why I'm doing WooCommerce for phase 2. And I'm hoping to have those videos out by the middle of January 2026. Thank you to everyone who is part of the commander level for the YouTube channel. Thank you so much for supporting. And for those that went and bought the course directly from the website, because you can't use PayPal based on your country, I'm really sorry. That's just between your country and YouTube. But I want to keep things in motion. So I don't just want to go, okay, here's the course videos, and there's no more for another 3-4 months. I want to keep you rewarded with fantastic content. Chilster, my opinion on essential add-ons for Elementor. I've looked at it, but I haven't gone crazy for any of the features in it. I'm one of those people where I have zero need for an Elementor add-on. I really do. The last time I used an Elementor add-on was the Premiere add-on, and that was back in it was actually 2000. So it was during COVID, and it was to do with a zoom in effect that the client really, really wanted, and Premier add-ons had it. But since 2000, I have never used an Elementor add-on. Unlimited, Essential, Premier, Mega, all of these, I don't use them. Even the animation plugins. There's so many animation plugins now for Elementor, or even stuff for WooCommerce for Elementor. I can't be bothered because I am then forever reliant on them keeping their plugin updated. So when Elementor do an update, I'm then reliant on them doing their update. Now you could argue, but you could have a problem with a cookie plugin or WooCommerce plugin or something else. That is true, but the risk factor is really, really small. Whereas when you use an Elementor add-on and Elementor do their funky updates, maybe they've changed the class name for a container, or they've deprecated, whatever, a certain JavaScript code, something. Now, when you do that, suddenly your website could fuck up. And you might say, well, don't update. But it's really easy to think, well, no, everything's all right. And you update, and then suddenly something on page 5 broke, but you didn't pick it up. Your client didn't pick it up. A user picks it up, complains to the client comes back to you, and now you're rushing to sort it out. And I always say, here's the truth of it, okay? What was the ultimate goal or aim of using an Elementor add-on? And I'm not disrespecting Happy Add-on, Essential, Unlimited, all of these people. They all do fantastic jobs, and all of them filled a gap that for a long time Elementor was not providing. Do you remember, like, before we had Loop Grid, we had like Elementor Post Skin, or whatever was it called now? I can't remember what it's called now. Do you remember that? When you wanted to make your posts be a bit different, because the old post widget were atrociously boring, weren't they? So you got to say, well done. They were needed then, but if I was going to be really controversial and frank and upfront, and I'm happy to stand on stage and have stuff thrown at me, do we really need a lot of the Elementor add-ons? Take Dynamic OO. Dynamic OO serves a purpose, but do you really need it? Like, if you use a code snippet, you can show advanced custom field, repeater field dynamically inside Elementor with a code snippet. Because so many people pay, I don't know what it was then, $40, $50, $60, whatever it was, to get a dynamic OO license because they had repeater fields, custom fields repeating, and they needed to show it dynamically, and they had to use that to do it. Again, do you need it? So, Chillster, I think what you asked is a really good question, by the way. So what I would say is, before I say what do I think, I would throw it back and say, what widget did you want to use for essential add-ons? And if you tell us the widget, let's put it on screen, have a look at it and go, could it be done manually without installing another plugin? Or is it really worth having it? Is it like a make or break situation for your website or a client's website? Keep it simple, really. That's what I say. Keep it really, really simple. Because, for instance, like, look, do you want me to, like, I'm building the WooCommerce website as part of phase 2, right? Let me show you what plugins I will be using on this shop website. Let me just get the website up. If my keyboard works, let me get it up. By the way, I hope you've all been really good. Like I said, sorry I've not been doing live chats for a while, just because I was like really, really busy doing stuff. So these are all the plugins I'm using on the shop website, okay, that I'm building out at the moment, okay? So we've got count them, advanced custom fields, code snippets. There's going to be a cookie bot which will get activated. Elementor Pro, header security, Fast Press, I may or may not use that. You don't have to have a performance plugin. Half the time, I think we spend too much time focusing on performance scores more and give them more value than we really, really, really need to. I mean, if your website score is over 60%, just go with it. Slim SEO, Woo PayPal payments, Woo tax, these are part of WooCommerce. WP Sweep, that will disappear, and I will be adding Malcare. So in total, I've got 12. I will remove Fast Press and Sweep, takes me down to 10. I will add in Malcare, that's 11. That's 11 plugins. There's nothing worse. Hey, Paul, there's nothing worse with a lot of e-commerce websites, whether it's WooCommerce or anything else. You could be using SureCart, FluentCart, all of this stuff. But then people start ramming into there every fucking plugin they can find for e-commerce. Oh, I've got to have cart abandonment. I've got to have this. I've got to have that. Oh, there's a really fancy feature with GSAP. I've got to have that as well. I want my cart to change size and magically turn into a dragon when you go to checkout. Just keep it simple. And you could easily do an e-commerce website with 12 plugins. Right? So I'm keeping it really slim. And for those of you that have very thankfully been part of the Elementor website courses, you should have noticed now how slim I kept the blog, the dentist, and the accountant website. Right? The accountant website, after completion, came to just under 300 megabytes in size. That's still big, but it's a decent size. In fact, the blog and a dentist website were around 250, 300-ish as well. There's no need to overbloat your website. Seriously. And if you spend time to ensure that you use an email that is domain related, right? So if your domain was blogging.com and your email address that you're using for your forms is info@blogging.com, you won't need to worry about SMTP shit. It's when you decide to add in a Hotmail, a Gmail, a Yahoo, and any other domain email, that's when your SMTP problems occur, and you got to then have that plugin in as well. But like I said, I mean, I've been guilty of going on about performance and do this and do that, but these days I'm so much more relaxed now. I personally think, right, that you could have the shittest performing website in the world, but if you are fucking awesome on video marketing and TikTok and YouTube and social, Facebook, Twitter, LinkedIn, and putting the feelers out, and you've got a product that people would like and want, or you're able to articulate why you can't go through life or get anywhere in life without this product or this course or this book or these trainers or this bag, if you can articulate that, your website can be drop dead shit with poor SEO, with poor AEO, but your video marketing will make your product fly. I mean, I'm not kidding here. I've seen people make ridiculous amounts of money because they were able to lie through their teeth on TikTok with how amazing their product is. And people just get hook, line, sinkered, hook lined into it. They take the bait. All right, let's go to the comments coming on. Chillstar, I wanted a Google map with several markers and they have a feature to link entire containers. Ooh. Okay, Chillstar, what is this? Is this, this was essential, wasn't it? You said essential add-ons Elementor. Essential add-ons Elementor. Right, let's just have a look at this, okay. Olfat Trucker, I like the idea of turning something into a dragon. Get out of it. We're not doing that. A question about the free websites. Can we see the completed websites online? You can actually. They're still on. They're still on. So there's blog.websquadron.co.uk, dentist.websquadron.co.uk, accountant www.websquadron.co.uk. So you can see them. Right, okay, let's just see where this little feature is that you were looking at. And I am not advertising essential add-ons for Elementor here if anyone starts jumping up and down. Right, which widget are we looking at? Do we have a list of widgets? It's been so long since I ever came onto here. Where's their list of... Where do we have it? Do we have it? Demo. Where is it? Where is it? Where is it? Map. Did you say it was map? Map. Advanced. Is it advanced Google Map? Hey, Karen Gaddafi. How you doing? Right. Do you mean this? Do you mean this one? Where are you, Chillster? Google Map with several markers. Is this the one you mean? No, you mean this one. Multiple markers with standard theme. You mean this one, don't you? Yes, maybe check my example. You can't post links in here, by the way. So I won't. I probably won't see it over here. I've just realized something. I've got an email I need to respond to. Yeah, this one, right. Okay, cool. Right. Right, just wait a minute. Let's just inspect this. Let's inspect this. So this is sat within... wait a minute. Let me just make sure I get this. Right, let me just copy this. Right. Let me just copy this for a moment. Let me just go to view page source. Just stay with me on this. Save as page source. Just save it over to there. Let's now go to ChatGPT. Right. So, how could we do this multiple map? CID equals that. With Elementor and no other plugin. Could we... Let's just see if we could do this. Could we build with code snippets? Right, let's just add in the file size. Oh, let me just zoom in a little bit, because it'll make it easier for you to see that. So could we use code snippets, upload file? Where's the page source? There's the page source. So this is something you could do. So it might not work, by the way. Okay, bear with me on this, right? This might not work, all right? Just bear with me on this, right? It might fall over in a minute and say this is too big. It should be all right. I've put big. Yeah, okay, right. Let's just see what this says. So let's just see. Custom overflow with heading slider, Elementor. So what do you mean by custom overflow? What's happening? Is your heading sliding off? I mean, have you set your container to be auto overflow or hidden overflow? Hey, Tarakangas, how are you? And again, I want to repeat what I said earlier. Thank you to everyone that signed up for the Elementor website course. Whether it was via YouTube membership or directly via the website. The support you guys give makes me want to do more, which is why I'm doing phase 2. So, yes, you can build with the unique ID, URL encoded, what you'll build, a short code like, you drop it. Okay, right. So, I'm not going to go through this, okay, Chillster, but can you see what I did? I went and got the page source. I went and got the ID. So I inspected it, got the ID for that container so we know what to feed through into ChatGPT. So I told it specifically go for that. And it's now saying you would add this in. Obviously, you're going to have to go and get your Google Maps API key. Hey, Visual Grid. You're going to have to go and get your key, all right? So you got to go over and to Google, right? Sign up, go through the process of getting your Maps API, or could you do it with the Elementor Maps? Maybe. I mean, you just got to go through this process. You got to go through this process. Let me just say something right. Could this be done with the standard Elementor Google Map widget and an easier process to add the markers rather than me spending oodles and noodles of time putting in coordinate crap. Let's see what we get there. Elemental maps cannot change colors. Believe me, mate, if you start to use a bit of AI, there might be a way to do it. Mia, how are you? Haven't seen you in a long time. I hope you're well. Yeah, Chillster, people can't add URLs here. That's the way it works with YouTube. That's always been like that with YouTube, to be honest, with people pasting links. Otherwise, people could spam. So, I mean, look, it's giving you another way to do it. So you could go to Google My Map. This is what we used to do. Like, this is what we used to do. Oh my God. Nearly 20 years ago. Nearly 20 years ago? 15 years ago, maybe. 15-ish. Yeah, 15 years ago. You'd be doing stuff like this where you go and add it in and then you would dump the iframe onto a website. But if you go through stuff like this, you can probably get it to work it out. Yeah, OpenStreetMaps is a good alternative as well. So there are ways to do it. So what I would say is spend the time to... Because at the end of the day, Essential Add-ons is just a website, right? And they've given you... The code is all there, right? The page source is all there, right? The page source is there. So you go in, you know, right-click inspect, download, get what you need. And technically, unless if the code is not locked away, you can rip off whatever anyone else has done. And some of you people will criticize me on this, but that's the truth of it. I'm sorry, but I'm pretty sure every plugin out there has ripped off someone in some way and pinched a bit of code, gone to GitHub. People have done it with my code snippets. Did you know that people have taken some of my code snippets and then created plugins? How do I know that? Because they've actually told me they've done that, which is nice of them. But there's some other people that have not told me they've done that. And there was one person, they released a bit of code. They told other people about it. And I went in and I right-clicked and inspected it. And guess what? That code still had my fucking name on it at the top. That's how lazy they were. They hadn't even removed code snippet by Imran Siddiq Web Squadron at the top of the PHP. That's how lazy they were. I thought, shit in hell. But whatever. But technically, right, people that do a lot of the Elementor add-ons and other stuff, they've probably just looked at what other people have done, gone and taken it and tweaked it, right? There are some people who are working in the page builder industry who have taken some of my code snippets and integrated it into their page builder without even telling me. But I released a code. It's a public code. It's in the public domain. Someone wants to do something with it. So what? You know, that's fine. It's not like I monetized it. And quite frankly, if people are really protective about their code, you need to lock away your code then. Because it's a bit like, you know when Elementor did this on their website? Okay, let me show you. Elementor.com, right? So when Elementor did this, where is it? Where is it? You know when Elementor did this? Let me show you here. You see this, right? They did that with GSAP, and it does it one line at a time, right? That's why you get this overlap when it does it. It's two lines, it's two different code. I took that, inspected it, got the code, created my own version with a code snippet where I'm not even using GSAP. They use GSAP, they use an add-on to get that. I've got a code snippet that will give you that, what this does, exactly that, and better in my opinion, without using GSAP. So you can take what someone does and adapt it to work for you. And that's the greatest tip I'll give you for 2025. All right. We are in an era now where you cannot look at something online and say, I don't know how to do that without trying. You got to give it a go. You may fail because it becomes too complex or it's not easy to interpret or understand. Or maybe the code, the key JavaScript you need is locked away and you can't access it. And AI, Claude, Perplexity, all of them are falling over one another and they can't get it right. But my tip to you is you right-click and inspect. You download the page source. You maybe screenshot it and record a 10-second video. And then you upload the video, the page source, and whatever else you want into ChatGPT and you say, work it out for me. Help me out here. How do I go about doing this? And you will get there. Karen says, change image, content cover flow like a slide. That doesn't make sense to me. I'm sorry, that doesn't make sense to me. Change image with content cover flow like a slide. Content cover flow like a slide send. Oh, do you mean like a slider in the center where you have one in the center and then you got your items, your cover flow? I did a video on that, Karen. I did a video on that. So you probably need to go, if you go and do a search over here for, is it center slide? Did I call it center slide? There you go. Do you mean something like this? Like a center focus loop grid carousel? Or even this one here, the loop carousel center focus. I've got two different ways of doing it. You got that one, or you got that one, center focus. So you might want to, just go and just do a search for center slide and you'll find something in there. It might help you out. It might not help you out. I don't know, but you're going to have to go and have a look at that. Bright Programmer, how you doing? I need to start using ACF like dynamic content inside the page. I just have dynamic content on card and not in the pages. You don't have to use it. You only use it if you know it's going to make building your pages more efficient and easier to manage. And is it needed? That's what I would say. Give us a tour of your top YouTube subscriptions. Do you want to know who my YouTube subscriptions are? Do you want to know who my YouTube subscriptions are? I mean, I got nothing to hide. So let me now tell you who my YouTube subscriptions are, right? And I don't have a lot. I really don't have a lot. So here are my YouTube subscriptions, okay? All right, so I'm going to show you them here. All right, so we have got over here. We've got, in fact, shall I zoom in so it's easier to see? We've got Diary of a CEO, right? Diary of a CEO, okay? Diary of a CEO. You all know him, yeah? Stephen Bartlett. When I'm working out or just working, having him talking in the background, I always find some of these, not all of them are great, I'll be honest, but some of these are quite interesting. Justin Brown, Primal video, right? Always great for sharing some useful information, videos, you know, technology. I always find them quite useful. Ali Abdal, he's another one I like to have on in the background just because of the business productivity side of things. There's always something, there's always a nugget, there's always something of interest, okay? Think Media. I mean, again, podcasts, videos, cameras. I always like to get their reviews and feedback. They're always quite good. Andrea, she's always good as well. I mean, she does a lot of GSAP stuff, but I like to keep updated with like her thinking and how she likes to approach things. We've got, of course, where would I be if it weren't for Paul? Gotta have Paul on there, right? I mean, I need to see what shit he's doing, you know, just so I can go, oh, look at this. Look at these ugly thumbnails. No, I'm joking. No, it's always good. Paul's always a good one. The Future. This, again, is one of my productivity ones. So he's always a good one, you know, about storytelling, branding and stuff like that. He's good. I like it when he's interviewing people as well. Obviously, I got Elementor because, you know, I want to keep up to date with that. Omar used to be part of Think Media. He's really good, you know, about videos. Yeah, about videos, marketing, branding, you know, how to better yourself, how to keep going. I like to watch his stuff. Again, these are stuff I have on in the background. Simon Squibb, another one I have on in the background. You know, he's talking about, you know, again, how you just get on with it. You know, stop. Don't just sit there wasting your time, you know, thinking, oh, how can I better my life? How can I motivate myself to change career and do things? He's always a good one to have on as well. Where would I be without good old Jeffrey Lightbox, hey? Always good to see his stuff as well. And then I'm down to my last two. Obviously, there's Raheem's channel, which he hasn't really updated or done much in like a year. You know, he hasn't done much in a year. I mean, this is him really when he dressed up as an Oompa Loompa, which was quite funny actually if you've not seen it. This is him doing his makeup when it was World Book Day. There you go. Yep, so that's Raheem doing his stuff. He was well chuffed when he did that Oompa Loompa setup. And then Vanessa Lau is my last one. Now, Vanessa, she is actually really, really good. Business advice and stuff. And she talks a lot about, you know, launching a business, vlogging. She's really good at covering equipment as well. And she's so easy to listen to. And she gets to the point. She doesn't waste time. She's a really good one. I like her style and how she presents. But that's it. That's my subscribe list. I don't have a massive amount, but it's just enough for me to keep up to date with things, learn new things, and also just have good business productivity shit going on in the background as I'm working. There you go. Tour of my YouTube subscriptions. Hey, Dennis, how you doing? Creative Wolf, how are you? There's always a hidden subscription gem we miss and should follow. Get out of the echo chamber. Exactly. And like, did it surprise you who I've subscribed to? Because I only had Andrea, Paul, and Jeffrey. Did you notice that? From the WordPress. Let me just double check. Andrea, Paul, and Elementor, and Jeffrey. And that's it. They're the only 4 I subscribe to. The remainder were like technology or productivity and business and stuff like that. And that probably tells you more about me as a person as to what I like to engage with. Because I live and breathe WordPress and Elementor and stuff like that, and AI and ChatGPT and all that so much that just being subscribed to loads of channels that cover that would kill me off, right? You would start to hear and see the same thing all the time. And I think sometimes just hearing someone as you're working in the background talking about how difficult business is, how things haven't gone well, how we need to change or adapt to the changing world, or what's happening in the UK or the world, or how can we think about our branding, how can we work with people, all of these little things can help you to evolve as a person as well. And it just gets me thinking about it so much too. Bright Programmer says, do you have a video that shows how to use a dynamic content on the page and not in the card? Like the customer can fill in and save them on the front end, show the same design. I've done it with testimonials or reviews. So let me jump. If you go to obviously our page and I go to was it ACF review? I think it was ACF review. So what I've shown is which video is it? Dynamic customer. Was it this one? Yeah, it's this one here. So if you do a search, right, it's this video here, URL trick to show dynamic websites. Website dynamic. No, it's this one, dynamic testimonial post type. So what you can do is you can use a custom field and you can collect testimonials or reviews, and they all go to a custom post type called testimonials, and then they will feed into a loop grid somewhere or wherever you want to use it. And it just makes it easier to collect information. So you could go and have a look at that. But let's move into 2026, people. If you really want to do something, go and ask AI. In fact, say to AI, is there a video that would explain this to me that you could find? If not, how would I do it? We have to think 4-dimensionally now. 1-dimensional is where you just talk to your parents and your siblings, right? So you only believe what your family say. You never step out. You never go to a library. You know, I'm talking about 30 years ago now. You never went to a library. You never really used the internet. You just believed everything your family said, what your grandparents said, what your auntie uncles said. If they said the world was flat, you believed it. If they said this religion is the only religion, you believed it. If they said you eat, drink, sleep, this is what you do, you believe it. 1-dimensional. 2-dimensional was you listen to other people, but you didn't stop to think if what they were telling you was right or wrong or true, or could it be debated. So again, your family or your friends or your teacher will say the world is flat. And you kind of go, is the world flat? But you believe it. You go with it. You don't argue it because you don't want to upset or rock the boat. So 2D, right? 1D, you just believe what your home and say. You don't step out. 2D is you step out, but you still don't argue or debate it. 3D is where you did go out to debate or understand or learn, right? So you wanted to engage, just like people might say to me or Paul or anyone else, how do I do X? How do I do this? How do I imitate what this plugin does? So you're willing to learn. We're now in a new era of 4D, right? Now, you don't have to ask or talk to someone technically per se. You can go to AI and you can give AI a video, a transcript, a PDF, an image. You could even just take a photo of something and go, how would I do that in Elementor? How would I do that in WordPress? Why is it that I've gone to the gym and my weight has gone up? How many calories are there in here? Is it dangerous for me to be tugging on this? Is this gonna kill me if I keep doing it? There's questions you can ask. A lot of people are struggling with the transition from 3D to 4D because you can ask a question, but I can't visualize fully what you want or what you're after. But you could now. You could feed it and take your time. Because when we ask questions to other people, we ask it like that, like an elevator pitch. How do I do X, Y, Z? I want to do this. And we give them like the condensed version of what we want because we don't want to bore them. We don't want to lose them. I've got your attention. I need to tell you now what I want. But with AI, you got all the time in the world. You can explain in detail what you want. What are you after? What's the end goal? What have you tried and has failed? You can give it all that. You can give it, upload 5 or 6 images, upload a few videos. You can do all of that in that one prompt. You don't have to do multiple, one prompt, and then see what it does. And you can go back and go, no, you got it wrong. What I meant was this, and here's another image to help you out. And no, I've tried that and that didn't work. No, what I mean is X. And you can have this knowledgeable conversation to hopefully get to where you want. Whereas when you ask us, we're just going to kind of go, well, based on me thinking I understand what you want, based on the question that you think you understood when you asked, this is what I think. But is that the right answer? Is that the most efficient way to do it? So I feel like we need to step into a bit more 4D thinking. Jan Carmo, 4D could be a mess. It could do. It absolutely could do. It absolutely could do. But here's what I would always say, yeah. Before you go to the AI route, so let's say I wanted to solve something, I'd go onto Google, or I'd go onto YouTube, or I'd go onto Reddit, or I might email a few people. And if I'm not getting any answers, or I want something quicker, I'll jump into AI. Look at all of the code snippets that I've put out in 2025. All of that is AI. Well, it's not all AI. A lot of it is down to my thinking and how I wanted to do it. And then I got it to do it a certain way. Like I was like, I want to do this like XYZ, and then let's fine tune it, tweak it, tweak it, tweak it, tweak it, tweak it until we get to what I really, really wanted. So it's not all AI, but the generation of the code, I'm not a PHP expert. I'm not a JavaScript expert, but I am good at knowing what I want. And I think a lot of people know what they want, but they're still twitchy about jumping into AI. You are right. You are right, Dennis. AI can't always get it right, but I feel like I've surprised myself. Like, look at the Elementor filter builder I've built. I tried it 6 months ago and it failed. I tried again 3 months ago, it failed, and I rethought my strategy and I did it in a more staged way. And after 2 days of back and forth, we eventually got there. Yeah, but Bright Programmer, you could do that. You could easily do that, right? You could have, let me tell you now, I've got videos on how you could, so I did a video where you could create an Elementor form, okay? And, you're right, Moim, people do give up too fast sometimes. What I would say, yeah, is I create an Elementor form with certain fields. When you hit send on that Elementor form, those fields send the individual text or text values or numbers to custom fields. And then I can use that dynamically wherever I want, wherever I want, wherever I want. Creative Wolf, sorry. How future-proof is AI code? It works today, breaks tomorrow. Can we fit? Yeah, we can. We can. And I would say it's no different to any code that is written, to be honest. Any code that you write could break, right? Well, not completely break. Not completely. I mean, I do stress test a lot of the code. And the points where it might break is if WordPress or Elementor fundamentally went and changed something in the back end. But usually they let you know. They would let you know that. How can I find it on your page on YouTube? If I'm honest, I can't really remember. Right, let me just see if I can find it. Was it wait a minute, ACF form. Was it ACF form? Yeah, here you go. Here you go. Got it. So if you do a search for ACF form over here, right? You do a search, front end form submission with Elementor forms. Look, there's 2 videos. Send form to custom fields, right? You got front end form submission, right? With Elementor forms. And you got send form to custom fields, right? So, yeah, basically that's it. That's it. ACF form. It's right there. You need to watch both of these videos. Front end form submission with Elementor forms, and then send form to custom fields, which is your front end submission, right? You need to watch both of them. And what happens is you can see the video here, actually, what it's doing. Roughly, you can just about see it. What I'm doing is you got custom fields, right? You got an Elementor form. You fill that in. They populate individual custom fields in a post type that you can then use in a loop grid, a loop carousel, single post template for your tours. You know, so you might have like, I don't know, Egypt, Bali, Thailand, Tenerife, you know, all of that. You could do all of that. You could do all of that. It's right there. But that's why you gotta, you gotta make sure you're subscribed and you are keeping up to date with the videos. But I have real life solutions on there, okay? There's no pissing about with me, all right? Real life solutions. I'll probably do an updated video on that because it's been a year since I did it now. So I'll just make a note where I need to do an updated video on ACF form front end submissions, dynamic fields. It's got to remind, I have a Notion sheet, you see, where I keep a list of videos I want to record. All of it's on hiatus at the moment. The next, we got Christmas break. By the way, I hope everyone has a Merry Christmas. So for the next 2 weeks, my son will be off school. Videos productions go to a standstill when he's at home, literally. Because you know what? His desk is now here. So he's sat here, right? Here. I mean, he's about 2 meters away from me. He's right there playing his friggin' computer games. And all I can do is hear him. So he's right there. So video production goes to a standstill. And then once New Year is over and he's back at school, I have 1 more week of video recording to do for the phase 2 of the Elementor website course where I'm focusing on WooCommerce. And then I can get back into recording my normal videos. But whenever an idea comes, put it down somewhere so you don't forget it. And that is how I stay so productive. That's how I do things. I need help how to contact. So the thing is though, Karen, right? Okay. So here's how you contact me, but here's the caveat, right? Here's the caveat. info@websquadron.co.uk, right? That's how you contact me. But here's the caveat. Here's the prerequisite. I'm not going to help anyone for free. In 2025, I put in gates because I was getting fed up of how much I was helping people out for free. I really was getting frustrated by it. And what I did worked. But in 2026, I'm going full-blown nuclear. When I'm on a live chat, I'll try and offer help and advice and stuff like that. That's what we do. If there's any support needed based on something I did in the course, obviously I should try and offer guidance if it's related to something I said you should do in the course. If you're going to contact me, DM, Twitter, LinkedIn, Facebook, and you want me to provide a solution or work with you or really understand your problem, I ain't doing it for free, right? I have paid consultancy. So if people want to work with me, you got to pay for consultancy. That's life. That's the way it is. Because I feel like the amount I do for free with developing code snippets, with developing solutions, the fact that I have put out my Elementor website course, which was over 12 hours, and that's the edited version. That doesn't include the recording, the research recording, the editing, because all you're seeing is the edited version, the upload time, all of that for $4.99 or $35, depending on how you decide to get access for it. So it's one of those things where, like, did I go Disneyland? No. What makes you think I went Disneyland, Moy? Guacamo, I'm working with coding thanks to other AI. Absolutely, Guacamo Bosi. AI just has helped us to develop different skill sets, right? Chelsea, which speed plugin is your choice at this moment? Do you know something? I'm not too sure anymore, but the two I would use if I really had to would be Fast Press or, which is PHAST. In fact, I'll write them down, right? I would use Fast Press or Airlift. I used to use Auto-Optimize, not anymore. WP Rocket is, you're paying a lot of money for a lot of shit that you don't really need and you will never understand, and you lose control over what it does and how it does it. End of, right? If you want to pay premium, you can. I've worked on WP Rocket websites and I've removed it, done stuff, and the website's quicker. Don't always be fooled into thinking that WP Rocket is your be-all, end-all solution. And what I would say, though, is even if your website score is 50, 60%, does it load fast enough on a desktop, a tablet, and a mobile? If you're outside right now, okay, does it load fast enough? In fact, you may go outside and go, it still took 2 seconds. Every website's probably going to take 2 seconds. In fact, go to WP Rocket. Was that any quicker? You know, WPRocket.com, was it quicker? Really? Get at Apple, was it quicker? Amazon, was it quicker? So only when you really notice a funnel or a bottle, not funnel, what am I saying? There's a bottleneck in the speed. That's when I would go and jump in a bit more. But quite frankly, we are in an era now, a world where I have seen websites where they're not even slow. They're like snail's pace. They take like 5 seconds to load up, and they're ugly. And there's full of typos and really bad images, and it just looks really old. But that website belongs to someone who articulated what they've got and why you need it. And people are like, I need it. I need that product. I need that ebook. I need that t-shirt. I don't fucking care what the website looks like. I want it. That's where we are. I'm not kidding you, right? We put so much focus on performance. The dial has shifted. I still believe your website should be very decent, good speed, SEO, AE. What am I doing? My wrist. I just smacked my wrist, and that's stupid. We need good stuff, right? I can't really rotate, but I can still do this, right? I can still chop. We need good SEO, AEO. You need to make sure your website looks good. Make sure it functions. Make sure your gateways and payments, and make sure things work. But there's more focus now on marketing, advertising, videoing. That's the golden ticket for some people. Old fat trucker, slow and ugly. You might be right. No, I'm not. I don't know. Anyway. Premium. Well, I don't know. Premium. I think it's down to, I'll be honest with you, Mikey. I'll just say it how I always say it. I mean, I'm one of those where like, hey, Gary. I'm one of those where like, as long as they understand what I say, who cares? Alejandra Valde. Is that right? Alejandra Valde? Alejandra Valde. I'm getting this wrong. We need to stop using so many premium plugins. Absolutely. Do you know something? I can't be asked with cart abandonment tools. Let me tell you now. If I go to any website and I do not buy something, and I then get an email later to say, it's still in the cart, you're going to miss out. I don't fucking care. If I wanted it, I would have fucking bought it. I didn't buy it, so fuck off. I can't stand cart abandonment shit. I've had clients that go, ooh, and I go, why? Why? Yeah, but then people say, but you're leaving table on the table. You're leaving stuff on the table. Whatever. Seriously, like, whatever. All right? Ugh. I don't care. I just say, you know what you need. Moim, you must... No, you see me, Moim, right? You make a good comment. Go to Disney World with my son. I'll tell you why. I'll tell you why I won't. I'll tell you why I won't. And this is one of the reasons why I don't go on a lot of holidays as well. The cost of going. So I did not go on holiday, like a proper holiday, for, let me get this right, 14 years. So it's from 2010 to 2024. In 2024, November, I cleared the mortgage. Right? So just wrap your head around that, okay? I cleared the mortgage. We got an extension done as well. So cleared the mortgage, got an extension done, loads of other work and stuff, right? So in total, including the interest that we would have paid at that time as well, including the extension and all of those costs, you're looking at near £300,000 in those 14 years. And other costs and stuff as well, all right? If I'd gone on holiday, we wouldn't have done that. It would have taken way longer. And here's the way I think. A lot of surplus money I have now, I stick in my son's bank account. Because I don't know what kind of world we're going to be in. He's 10 years old now. What will be the world like in 11 years' time? So I think that I would rather sacrifice holiday because I don't need to go abroad. If I want a break, I'll have a break, but I don't have to go and sit on a beach for like 3 or 4 days staring at the sea and sand. It doesn't get me excited. It really doesn't. Because the amount of money I'll save then, that's money I can save into my account and his account. And that's how I think. Because I'm very much like, what if I'm not here in 10 years' time? I want to know that he's got something he can dip into and is looked after. The world in 11 years is terrible. That's why I worry, Dennis. I mean, look at what's happening with AI and jobs and things. And will anyone still want a website in 11 years? Who knows? I got to stop shaking my wrist like that. I'm really hurting it every time I do that. I'm not helping myself. Pekram says, I started a project, fixed the price, but now the work has increased. How can I ask the client to increase the price? Okay, Pekram, give me a bit more detail, right? Give me a bit more detail, okay? So Karan, responsive design, not show Mac. I don't really get any difference. Depends on how you're building. Right? So Pekram, what was the project about? What was the project about? Okay. And you're saying the work has increased. So what was agreed and what was the price? And what, in your opinion, has changed so much to make you feel like the work has increased? Give us... Oh, do you mean for Star Wars, Moim? Are you talking about the Star Wars side of Disney World? I would love to go, but I don't know if I will. Hey, John. How you doing? By the way, John, hope you have a Merry Christmas. And this goes out to everyone, okay? I love Christmas time. I love it. I love the coming together. I love Christmas Day dinner. Oh, do I love Christmas Day dinner. I mean, we'll have, you can have a technical Christmas dinner any day of the year, and we do. But there's something so special, even though it's going to be your mash, your potatoes, your turkey, and your veg, and this and that and that and that. there's just something wonderful, even though you might have had that same meal in November. It's weird. But there's something about it, right? There's something about it. Okay. Money, mate. Money counts with me. I'm always thinking about. I'm one of those people where I go, I could spend £5,000 or 6,000 and let's go Disney World, whether it's Paris or Florida or wherever. We could do that. And then I go, or we could have invested that. And, because 1 week later, you're left with memories. But for me, the memory will always be, shit, what did I spend? Now, back to Pekram. Can you tell us what the project was and what was agreed, and what has fundamentally changed to make you think that this is now more work, therefore I need to charge more? You've given us the seed of a problem. Now I want you to plant that seed so that we can see what the problem is, right? Because at the moment, I don't see a problem because I don't have enough detail. Okay? A bit like if you asked that question to AI, AI would go, yeah, ask for more money. But the minute you spell the detail, so let's say the website was a blog website and then they wanted to also do WooCommerce. Yes, you need to charge more. But if it was a case of it's a blog website, but now they want me to redo the design, you could charge more. Or is it just little things? So it very much depends on what are we talking about here? What are we talking about? Alejandro Valde, I'm really glad you said that. That makes me really happy. Yeah, that makes me really, really happy. Keep an eye out for the phase 2 expansion where I cover off the WooCommerce start to finish. And again, we're building out a completely new website, okay? We had the blog, we have the dentist, we had the accountant. Now we're going to do a shop website, okay? And then in phase 3, we'll probably do like an LMS, learning courses kind of type of website or something. Something like that. John, do you know something about John? Do you know something? I'll try to be careful with how much mashed potato I eat. So what I'll do is I'll have more chicken and turkey. Of course, loads of gravy. But, chicken and turkey. I'll have some mash, but I will try to make sure that if you imagine like a blob of mash, I'll make sure I've got double. So the ratio, in fact, the ratio has to be 3-1. So potato is 1, chicken and turkey is 3. Okay. Chicken and turkey is 3. Right, Pekram, let's get back to you. Client asked for a simple website with a calculation form for $120. But it is my one of the initial project and to make my portfolio, so to make website with additional. I don't get that. I don't get what you've said there. I said to him to make website with this additional 4-page. Okay, so calculation form, 4 pages, custom post type. Okay. So what's the problem? I'm not. Are you saying the calculation form is the extra stuff? But the initial project, the initial work was to do a 4-page website, custom post type. Is that what you're saying? Okay, so yep. Hey, look, the Elementor website course is like me being brutally honest with how I like to build. And like, I wanted to give you that start to finish approach. Because I feel like a lot of tutorials, they're like, you show someone how to do this and then show someone how to do that. And I wanted to give you that connected flow and also show you that At what point do I do the SEO? At what point do I do the site settings? At what point do I do the CSS framework? So, okay. So obviously you need to charge more for your 4 pages. Though you got to charge more, and you got to work out what you got to do though is work out how long it's going to take you and then put a price on it. Haha, yes, I do. I am not sponsored by Pepsi Max. Maybe I need to add this to all of my videos when I do the intro where it says Web Squadron. You know the bit where it goes Web Squadron? I need to say, not sponsored by Pepsi Max. Because I'm not. Like, like, look, I've even got, you can just see it just there. My little Pepsi Max little thing can. Will there be a meetup in 2026? There will be, just got to finalize what date. Right, so Pekram, I don't mean to be rude here, right? But that's a really silly question to ask me, okay? So, how long would it take you to do the calculation form? Because you said $120. So, simple website with a calculation form. What do you mean by simple website? I don't mean to be funny here, right? But ask the wrong question, you get the wrong answer. So, simple website calculation form. What is a simple website? 1 page? 20 pages? What is a simple website? So tell me, simple website, calculation form, how many pages, and how long did it take you? That's the first question, right? So tell us that. And then I'll tell you the second question. First question, how many pages was the simple website and the calculation form? No, sorry. How many pages was the simple website and how long did it take for you to do that and the calculation form? And I am going to guess 2 days. 2 or 3 days max. But you need to answer that question. And then I'll try and give you a bit of guidance on that. I don't beat about the bush. I really don't anymore. My wife always says to me that sometimes you're so rude. She's not here, but sometimes she's in the other room and she's like, God, Imran, you're so rude. You're just so direct. You need to have people that are direct. We don't need to be pussyfooting around with what we say and do and how we say it. You know, so 1 page landing page and the calculation form for 120, 5 days. 5 days. Can I ask you, can I be really like blunt here? Why did it take you 5 days? Why did it take you 5 days? Thanks, Dennis. I want to be really blunt here, but what? Can you break down the 5 days for me? I just want to do a little bit of like surgery now on what you've said. 1 page and form. 5 days, right? How much of that 5 days was the website and how much of the 5 days was the form? Because you've just said it's a 1 page landing page. Was it a very complicated page? If you don't want to answer it, don't answer it, okay? But what I will say is, yeah, the second question, right, is if 1 page and 1 form takes you 5 days for $120, how long is it going to take you to now do 4 extra pages and custom post type? Because obviously, does your 4 pages include the single post template for the custom post type? Because are we saying it's 4 pages full stop? Or is there now a loop grid page and a single post template? Because even a template can be considered a page because you're still building out a separate entity. So have a think about that. Have a think about that. You're right, Alejandro. Yeah, executing as well. I mean, does the 5 days include planning as well? Must have done. Yeah, it probably did do, didn't it? It was probably getting the images and the colors and the fonts. Maybe there was planning. Maybe, I don't know. But how long is it going to take you to do those 4 pages and the custom post type? How long is that going to take? How long is that going to take? George, how are you, my friend? Are you looking forward to Christmas, George? In Cyprus, how big is it in Cyprus or Greece or Cyprus, Greece? I was getting mixed up. Greece, Cyprus. How big? How big? How do you do like a Christmas meal down there, George? Like a big meal, or just a tapas, which is Spain more. But so back to Pekram. Those 4 extra pages, right? 5 days, right? So if it's going to take you another 5 days, then you need to charge 120. What you've done is slightly narrowed yourself into a... You could charge more, right? You could charge 150, maybe. But you might need to go back. I mean, does your client think that they will get 4 extra pages and a custom post type for free? Is that what we're saying, Pekram? What does your client think? Does your client think that they'll just get it for free? Is that what your client thinks? Yeah? I think the thing is, though, K-Strip, that where you live does matter. For instance, $120 is for someone in, say, Nigeria, Sri Lanka, you know, lots of places, Eastern and African countries. $120 could be the equivalent of, like, I don't know, 3 months rent. That's how big a deal it is. That's how big a deal it is. In the UK, there's no way I'd spend 5 days and just get paid $120, or the United States or Australia. So your client, right, Pekram, they know they're going to pay more. Is that what you're saying? Your client knows they got to pay more. If they know they got to pay more, then you tell them what the cost is. And if they pay it, you do it. If they don't pay it, you don't do it. Simple. You know? It's not been a while. I haven't done a live in about 5 weeks, I think. And it's because I was bogged down with the Elementor website course. And you know, when you're recording videos and editing, and then you got to get on with other stuff, you could take a break and do a live chat. But I think I was like fed up of looking at the camera. I was like, ugh. So many times I wanted to do it. Right. So your client knows. So I don't see what the problem is, Pekram. I'm not sure what we're debating here. I'm not sure. I'm really not sure what we're talking about here then. Your client knows that you need to do more. So just do it. Yeah, I mean, to be honest though, George, like, YouTube is really, really pernickety. I don't even get notified half the time with YouTube, which is really annoying. But what I will say is I am going to try and see if I can do more live chats in 2026. Maybe go back to doing them daily. Maybe, I don't know. People will get fed up of me if I do it daily. I am tired. I mean, Raheem has started going to the gym with me, so I've rejoined the gym. Um, we go to the gym at 7 in the morning, wakes up, gets ready, goes to the gym with me. Dennis says 2 times a week. You're probably right, Dennis. 2 times a week would probably be more than enough. Maybe I'll do Tuesday and Thursday. Those kind of days work reasonably well, maybe. I won't go back into overkill with every day because obviously I've got to balance off my work and stuff too. Now, I've been live for 1 hour, 20 minutes, and I'm going to jump off in 2 minutes' time just so I can get on with some other stuff. But yeah, going back to the gym, Raheem's coming with me. He's giving it a real good go. He does his cardio. You know, he's doing his triceps. He's trying to get into doing his biceps and his chest and his shoulder and his legs. And he's really getting into it. And I think a lot of that is down to the fact that he does get pushed around a lot at school. And I have told him that trying to improve your physique isn't going to solve a problem. You got to find out, why do you get pushed around at school? So you got to try and nip that in the bud, you know. But I think he wants to try and build muscle. But to be honest, you know, he's 10 and a half years old. I do think that if you get into this mindset and a habit of going gym in the mornings, releasing endorphins will help him as well, and becoming more, you know, just getting into that rhythm of working out, you know, cardio, weights, this and that. It could be a game changer for him by the time he's 15, 16, going into college. It can make a real big difference to your confidence, how you look. And I know it's not all about how you look. I want to be clear, right? I'm not saying, yeah, Love Island, you know, have a six-pack. I'm not saying that. But what I am saying, that it can make a difference. My mum and dad did not let me join a gym. They wouldn't even let me have weights at home. They didn't even like it when I did sit-ups or press-ups. They were so anti me doing they believe that if you do that when you're a teenager, it stops you growing. And I was like, no, that's steroids and shit. I'm not doing that. And I didn't join a gym until I was 19, you know, and I really wish I'd started earlier. I really do. So, yeah, you're right. You are right, George. I mean, a lot, he gets picked on a lot. He gets picked on a lot. You know, and a lot of kids are, they kind of like go after him, or they surround him at lunchtime. And I really wish the teachers would do more about it, you know, and they can see that a lot of kids, and they're not even just kids his age, they might be younger than him, they really intimidate him, you know, and he suffers from a lot of anxiety, Raheem does. He really has anxiety issues, confidence issues in himself, self-esteem and all of that. And they really target. Nah, Carapos, I'm not going to put him into boxing. There are some things that I just feel like I don't want to take him down the pure aggression route. Because they're, you know, so I've got other things we're going to try and do to help him out. You know, absolutely, George. I'm so proud that as a kid, I was a geek and a nerd. I'm so proud of that. I'm so proud of that. Right, everyone, I'm going to jump off now. Oh, I damaged the tendon here, the cartilage, the tendon right there. You know, your wrist bone right there. Really, I whacked it, and hurts when I rotate. So I'm not going to wave goodbye. I'm just going to wiggle my fingers. All right, everyone. If I don't go live or speak to anyone before Christmas, have an amazing Merry Christmas, right? I hope you have loads of fun. I hope you get what you want. And even if you don't celebrate Christmas or you don't get presents, I just hope you have a good, relaxing time. Have a break from work. Just down tools. Have a great meal. You know, spend time with family or friends or whoever or whatever you're going to do. Most of all, take care. Look after yourselves, all right? Don't start any fights. Don't start any arguments, right? Love each other, right? Whatever country you're in, whatever religious belief you have, whatever culture you have, whatever page builder you use, whether you use WordPress, whatever, whatever your neighbors are like, whatever you relationships you have, right? Just love one another, okay? And be happy and stay safe. Yeah, just stay safe, everyone. Merry Christmas and a Happy New Year if I don't see you until then.